So, so your camera has been already been set up properly. Okay. So,
Yeah.
without further ado, let's move on to our lesson toy.
Yes.
Okay. So last time we were able to talk about something that is a company performance. Okay. So when we
Yes.
say company performance, what do you think it's a company performance toy? And how are we going to achieve a performance, a good performance in that particular company? So what are the examples that we had last time in order for us to identify that that company is performing well? So
Mm.
what do you think is that? So when we say company performance, it's all about
Uh, Company performance about the sales targets and cost. If you sell a big target, you will profit. Uh,
mm-hmm,
but if the company uh, sell the cost, we can big profit. If the company will successful in the business.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is what we call company performance. And one of the examples also of company performance, we shall say, company not just only participating in just to what? In just to produce or to have a profits, right?
Yeah.
But of course, at this point in time, the latest company nowadays, they are also involving themselves in the so-called company performance in a socially responsible world,
Yeah.
right? So
Mm.
they will have a lot of activities, a lot of involvement when it comes to social involvement in order for them for their company to be well known. Like for example, they will going to join a fun run, okay, wearing their own t-shirt, that their t-shirt has a name of the company. So that is also the one of the marketing also of that particular company, right? So
Yeah.
they were going to join for a medical mission, okay? A medical mission. So you know what's a medical mission, Toy? Let's say, for example, they will going to go to somewhere in a remote areas, let's say in Vietnam, and they will going to bring their doctors and nurses, bringing
Mm.
the name of the company, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that the company will be well known. Ah, this company is good because they are participating in a socially responsible world. Okay?
Yeah.
And based from that, the performance of the company will going to increase. Okay?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
based on the survey, okay, the people would always say, oh, that's a good company because they're having an activity like medical mission. Okay? They go to remote areas and conduct a medical mission together with the doctors and nurses they brought. Okay? And
Yeah.
that's a good performance. So that
Mm.
shows that that particular company is performing well because they are participating in a socially responsible world. Okay? And talking about that one last time, we were able to talk about this one, okay? That nowadays, the diversity to its workforce, right? So like this. So when we are talking about diversity, we are talking about something that even you are a disabled person, you are a male or you are a female, still you can be able to be employed. Okay?
Yeah. Mm.
Gone those days before that if you are disabled, you cannot apply for a job,
Mm.
right? Even though you are a college graduate, you are a degree holder, but still there would be the so-called discrimination, right? That was before, but that was gone already, gone those days that it has the so-called discrimination when it comes to the workforce. Nowadays, even you are disabled person, but as long as you are capable to do something, in order to increase maybe the profit of that company, even without the legs. Okay, if you're a disabled person, if you don't have a legs, you are just riding on your wheelchair, but still your hand can work, so you will be given a chance to work. So that is what we call diversity of its workforce. Whether you're a male, whether you're a female, you whether regardless of what sex you have, okay, whether you're a homosexual or whatsoever, nowadays it's already been accepted in a company. Okay, there would be no discrimination at all. Okay, so that is diversity of its workforce. Okay, so let's move on in here. Let's try to read statements 1 to 5 in here, Toy, and
Yes.
discuss whether you think they are true or false. Then read the text and check your answers.
Yeah.
Okay, can you read number 1, Toy?
Everybody loves a company that makes
Makes
money.
money. Okay, so everybody loves a company that makes money. What do you think? Is it true or false?
True.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Is it a true? Okay, why? Support your answer. Why is your answer is true? That everybody loves a company that makes money.
I think the
If you
company
are a
can.
customer, huh? If you are a community, a member of the community, you are not the employee. Okay? If you are a
I think
customer,
I'm employee, not a
no,
customer.
you are the employee. So I know you are not the employee, but you are a customer maybe. So
Mm.
do you think you love the company that makes a lot of money?
Because if I am a customer, I think if you the company think they only
Money, only
yeah,
profit.
yeah, so they not the care of the quality. So if
Yes,
I am customer, I don't like, I
yes.
will choose another
Company. That's
company. Yeah.
correct. See? So if you are a customer, if you are maybe an ordinary members of the community, you would always think of no, that company doesn't make money, okay? So they always, although a company, okay, this is very very true,
Yeah.
because if the company doesn't have money, so how they will going to survive, right? So it's
Yes.
very true that company has to protect their capabilities in order for them to provide money, because if they cannot provide money, where they are going to get money in order to pay for their employees, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they should have also to have a profit also, but not all the time that you are just going to what? You are just going to make something customers, let's say for example, okay, since you're late in that particular payment, I'm going to what do you want? I'm going to put an additional of 50% on your late payment. Let's say, for example, if the company is a lending company, right? A lot of lending company has that kind of policy. Like for example, if one of the members late in the payment of the monthly dues, and then what happened? They will going to what? They will going to add an additional 50%, right? And that's
Mm-mm.
not normal. That's inhuman, right? The customer cannot pay for that actual money, and yet you are going to add additional penalty of 50%. So it's
Yeah.
too much, okay?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of company like that. Okay? So the answer for this is false, because not everybody loves a company that makes money, especially on the part of the customer. Okay? If
Yeah.
I were the customer, I don't like the company that looks like money all the time. Okay? Let's say, for example, okay, um, before you can receive your the item, you have to pay first. So
Yes.
money first before the item. So if
yeah,
you are the customer, do you think you like that kind of policy that you are going to pay first before they will going to send you the item?
yes,
Just like Shopee. If you are ordering Shopee, there would be COD, right? There would
mm,
be cash on delivery. Most of the time, it's cash on delivery. But
mm,
sometimes, you can also pay in advance if you don't want a COD.
mm,
And that's a better agreement because you agree, right? But if this particular company doesn't accept a COD, that
mm,
means that company wanted to make money,
yeah,
okay? Because they want an assurance that you will going to pay. So you have to
yeah,
pay first before we have to ship your product. So
yeah,
what do you think is that company? That company is, maybe it's a smart company. Why? Because they think of money
mm,
rather than shipping the product to the
yes.
customer. Okay? So have
Mm.
you experienced that one, that particular company, Toy?
I think the first one I don't want to pay before I get the product because
Mm-hmm.
I need to check first. If
Yes.
I if I buy the second one, I will after I give
You make
the
sure.
product. Yeah, I make sure it is good.
That's
I will
correct.
pay first. I pay for them first. After that, I
Yeah.
receive the food.
Yes. Actually, that's the what is one, that is the disadvantage of paying first. Why?
Yeah,
Because there is also statement on their disclosure statement that no return, no exchange,
yeah,
right?
have
So
yeah. Some
you
company.
yes, there are some company that if you're going to buy an items for them, they will going to let you sign that no return, no exchange policy,
Yeah,
right? So if you bought that and then you find something, let's say you find damage, a little damage, and then you wanted to return that, and then you wanted to exchange that particular product, they don't allow that one.
yeah,
Okay? And in fact, you paid the whole amount already,
yeah,
right? So that's the disadvantage of paying in advance. Why? Because they will going to give you maybe a fake product instead
yeah.
of the real one. Because
Uh,
why? They got already your money, right?
yes.
Okay, so that's the disadvantage. Okay, what about number two, Toy? Can you read this?
It's not enough for a company to have good sales research
Okay, it's not enough for a company to have a good sales results.
research.
Yes, true or false? Excuse me. So what do you think? It's not enough for a company to have a good sales results. What do you think? Is it true or false?
I think for it,
Why?
it's true.
Okay, so what's the final answer? Is it false or true?
It's enough for a company to
To
have
have
good
good sales
sales.
results. Okay, when you say it's not enough, that means if you have a good results, you have a good sales results, is that already enough that that company is performing well because they showed good sales results? Is that
Hmm.
enough? Even without
Yes.
looking at some aspects in that particular company that they should have to improve. Let's say, for example, customer satisfaction, right? Customers engagement. Okay, although you have a good sales results, but there are a lot of customers that is not satisfied with your services,
Hmm.
right? Although you target the sales, what is one, you hit the sales, you show the good sales results, but aside from hitting the target, there would be a lot of comments, there would be a lot of what is one negative comments or feedbacks to your services. So it's
Yeah.
not right. So is it
Yeah.
enough for a company to have a good sales results? True.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not enough.
Yes.
Okay, why? Because not just only having a good sales results, your basis. So you should have
Mm.
to take a look also with how you manage the so-called the target or that particular good results. Maybe you have to look at also the side of the customer, right? Are they satisfied? That's why you target the good sales results. If a lot of customers doesn't satisfied with your services, and then that's not a good sales results.
Mm.
Why? On the next time, you will going to have a low sales results.
Yes.
Why? Because they will not
Because
going to buy that again. They will not going to repeat buying the
yeah.
items, right? Or
Yes.
they will not going to enroll again in your services. Okay? Why? Because you don't have a good feedback from them. So it's
Yes.
very important to look at that part, okay?
Yeah.
Na you got a good sales results and you got also a very good feedback coming from your customers, right? Oh, let's
Yeah.
say for example, we target we target the sales that's the sales target, we hit that one, but we also have a very good results. And that would be a very good feedback, right?
Yeah.
And next time around, you should have to expect that there would also be a more increase of sales on the next month. Why? Because all of those who satisfied customers will going to repeat buying your product again. Why? Because they were satisfied,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's also the thing that you should have to look at too. Okay?
Yeah.
Next, what about number 3, Toy? Can you read that?
A companies have to show that they look after their
Yes.
employees
Okay, so what do you think? True or false?
to
That's correct. So why is it that the companies has to show that they look after their employees? Okay, we already knew good sales results. You
mm,
target that, okay?
yeah.
And then what happened? Okay?
And they have uh, a big money they need to share with the employee because
Yes,
the employee uh, have to work hard for the company.
correct.
Yeah.
Not just only the manager work for that.
Yes.
Definitely, it's the work of everybody. From its department, you work hand in hand. So
Mm.
therefore, why don't you celebrate for your employees? Even just only a simple celebration like you are going to award the most outstanding employee of the year and they will going to receive a cash prize for that, a little amount. And that
Yeah.
would that would encourage the employees to work harder, right? Okay, actually, I work in one of the companies here in the Philippines, and I do appreciate their services. Why? Because every month, if the sales has been targeted, if we hit the sales, and then every month we do have a so-called incentives. Okay, so we will given an incentives for that. Like for example, a little amount of money for the incentives, and then they will going to award a most outstanding employee of the month, and that would be a very good what is one marketing for your employees. Why? Because your employees family can also be your customer,
Yeah.
right? So your employees will going to say something with the company. Oh, actually that company is good where I am working because they have like this, blah 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 blah. And
Mm.
therefore that would be word of mouth. So that you market the company, and then the one who you marketed that one, they will going to tell that one also to a lot of people because of that good feedback. Okay, so
yes,
what would be the performance? What would be the company's performance now? It will going to be very good performance.
yes.
Right? So do you have any addition to this, Toy? Okay, what do you
Mm.
think?
I think the company if want to uh, them to work longer with employee, we need to stay uh, bonus with them. They will
Yes.
happy and work hard with the company. They will is so the products the good products. Yeah,
Yes, of
yeah.
course. It's
You
also a
know,
good,
yeah.
yes,
The employee they if they happy they will make the good product for us. If
that's correct.
they don't happy, sometimes they make broken with our product.
That's
This
correct.
yeah,
And they will not going to work happily, right?
yeah.
So they will not going to do something in order to reach the target. Why? Because oh, if we will reach the target,
Mm,
oh, we we're not involved in that. Okay,
mm,
the employee will going to tell, oh, that would be their achievements, but not ours. Why? Because
mm.
we're working hard, working hard, but we cannot benefit from that. Okay?
Yes,
So that would
correct.
be a bad feedback. That is not a good performance, although you hit the target. Okay?
Yeah,
So the company should always to look after their employees also. They should
yes,
have to give something, a bonus. You are right. So give something a bonus because a little amount of money as a bonus will be a big happiness to our employees, right?
yes. Mm,
Yeah. And then treat them. Let's say, for example, okay, tomorrow we're going to have a half day because in the afternoon we will going to eat a
yeah,
Jollibee. Or see,
yeah,
right? So it's the treat of the company. So all
yeah.
of you should have to attend in that
Mm,
particular gatherings because we hit the target. And
yeah,
everybody must be happy for that, right?
yes.
Yes. Okay. What about number four, Toy?
Employees work for harder and for a
Lower
lower salary.
salary
Yeah,
if they
if they
were
were with a socially
socially
responsible
responsible company.
company.
So what do you think? Is it true or false?
True.
Yes. Okay. So why is it the reason why is it like that? What do you think, Toy? Excuse me.
Because in the company uh, the employees is the person work hard.
Yes.
Yeah, must work hard because they work hand by hand, so they bring heavy, so we need to take care them. So they will happy. Some before I work in the factory company,
Mm-hmm.
I know it's um however the worker is very hot. They
Yes.
because they think they work hard. They work with the heavy job. They want to
Mm-hmm.
get the salary the same with the job
Yes.
they say they work for company. So if you don't agree the suitable salary for them, they not happy. They don't want to work for.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, it's the worker. If one person not happy, they will talk another person. Yeah, a factory.
Yeah.
They don't want to work or they work slow, slow, slow.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, because they are not satisfied, especially if they got only a very lower salary, right?
Yeah,
So you're not happy at all. Why? Because when you receive your salary, oh, my salary is just like this, okay? And then
yeah,
what am I going to do with this if my salary is just only like this? So you're not happy at all. So what would be the result? So your performance also will be affected. So you will not going to work harder, right?
yeah, yeah.
But of course, in a socially responsible company, actually, Toy, there are
Mm,
a lot of people. They have only a lower salary. Okay, why?
mm,
Because it's a socially responsible company wherein their obligation is not to gain profit.
yes,
Okay? Their obligation is to serve people. That's
yes,
why whether they are gaining profit or not, they should have to continue serving the people because that's their role. Okay? That's their role as a socially responsible company. So whether the company is not working well, the company is not having a good sales results, but still they should have to do that one. And the result, of course, there would be no employees satisfied. So
yes,
employee satisfaction is very low
yeah,
because they're not happy. Okay?
yes.
Okay, what about number 5, Joy?
Only a small
Minority
minority of employees think they work for a socially
responsible
responsible
company.
company.
So only a small minority of employees think
Mm,
they work for a socially responsible company. Is it true or false?
I think for
Yes. Why is it false?
because with the minority employees, they don't they mm, they didn't 30 high, so
Mm-hmm.
they cannot know what's the company they
Yeah.
are working, so they cannot know they work for the social company.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Why? Because their goal or their aim only is to satisfy the needs of a lot of people rather than the company satisfaction, right?
yeah,
Because they don't know what's inside. They don't know if the company is having trouble when it comes to sales, right? If
yeah,
the company is having trouble when it comes to the income. So they don't know that one because they're just only aftering for the good of the people, for the good of everybody, because socially responsible company. Okay? So
yeah,
that's the reason all about. Okay? Okay. So do you have any questions with this toy?
yeah. I don't have question,
Okay. So
teacher.
if you don't have any more question,
Yes.
let's proceed with this one. Okay. Let's try to complete the sentences with words and phrases from the box. Okay. So achieves its sales targets. So what do you think?
The company will get the big profit if they achieve its share targets.
Sales targets. Okay, so the company will going to achieve okay
Yeah,
its targets. Okay, if their sales has been achieved. Okay, what
yeah.
about socially responsible?
Nowadays, uh, our our country have have some company uh, uh nowadays our country
Nowadays, okay.
our country need to help the some need to have the socially responsible
Responsible
company.
company. Okay,
Yeah.
that's correct. Okay. And then what about when I say manages its costs?
Uh, if the company want to get the profit, they need to manage its
Its
cost.
cost. Very
Yeah.
good. Okay. What about when I say environmental performance? So environmental performance.
Uh, some company some company need some company want to improve environmental
Performance. Okay, that's
performance.
correct. What about when I say perform well?
If if the company manage the cost, the good cost, good their cost,
Okay.
they will perform
Well,
well.
okay, very
Yes.
good. Next, when I say diversity of its workforce.
Diversity. Uh, in the company, we to uh, need to have uh,
Okay.
mm,
Okay, that's correct.
now need to have the diversity
Diversity
of each workforce.
workforce. Yes. Okay. So diversity of its
Yes.
workforce. Then when I say reputation,
Reputation.
excuse me. So that means,
Reputation. I remember what's the name.
okay, I'm going to give you that one. We need
Sorry, sorry.
to take good care the reputation of the
Hello.
company.
Em gọi anh Tâm giùm chị á. Em biết anh Tâm không? Hồi nãy chị nhắn anh Tâm cho. Hmm? Okay, okay. Wait for me. 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Tâm, em em xuống gặp Sim lấy đồ giùm chị với Tâm. Nó đứng dưới á. Nha. Okay.
Okay.
The bank send document to me.
Okay.
I'm busy.
So you're busy. Okay, so when you say reputation toy,
Yeah. Reputation. I know now. Uh, every company want to know the reputation when they business.
okay. So
Yeah.
reputation of the business. Then when
Yeah.
you say safety record, okay, safety record.
Safety breakfast.
Yes.
Um, safety breakfast. Because
Yes. So the
they.
company will going to keep safe
Yeah.
their safety record,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
So it's very important that no one will going to know everything what is happening inside the company, right? So
Yeah.
even employees are not allowed to tell what happens inside the company, okay? So that they will just going to what? To safeguard or to safety the record of the company, especially when it comes to money, right?
Yeah.
So accountants, just like you, are not allowed to tell anybody about the income or the profit of the company because it's not allowed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you should have to safeguard the company's record. Okay. So if you don't have questions with that, let's proceed with exercise number 2. So let's try to complete the sentences with words and phrases from the box. It's here. Okay. It's here. So if a company is open to
Ah.
both sexes and
Oh
all
yeah.
races, it believes in the, I already mentioned that
It's
one,
really in
whether you are a
the
girl, you are whether a boy, you are,
diversity of each
yes.
flower.
So diversity of its workforce. Very good. So regardless of sexes, whether homosexual or whatsoever. Number 2, a company which protects people and nature is
Is environmental
very good. See,
performance.
it's environmental
Performance
performance. If your company has good results, it shares usually
is the if the company have potential.
results. It shares usually
Decisively
shares usually what?
manage its cost.
Okay, manage its costs. Okay, next. When we say if people like or respect the company, it's a good.
Whose repute,
Yes, it
reputation.
has a good reputation. Number
Reputation.
5, if the company doesn't
And
spend too much money, it,
oh no. This achieve its sales targets.
okay, actually,
Performance well. I think that's
number
performance
5
well.
is
Number 5 is dump
the
set.
company doesn't spend too much, it
Oh, I think the
manages.
manage its cost.
Yes. Yeah,
How
it
about
manages it cost.
3?
Number 3 is perform well. Okay, if the company
Yeah,
has good
yeah,
results, its shares usually perform well. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
The number 4 is reputation. Number 5 is manages its cost. Why? Because they're not spending. They're not
Money,
spending a
yeah.
lot of money. Okay. Now, number 6, if there aren't many accidents, the company has a good.
Safety
Yes.
records.
So safety precautions, we call that one in other company as safety precaution, or we have to say safety record. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 7, if the
The com
company sells what it plants, it is.
is the achieve its set targets.
Yes, it achieves its sales targets. Very good. And number 8, if a company doesn't pollute too much, it has a good.
Oh, pollutes. It's a in environmental
Yeah,
performance.
environmental performance.
How
Okay.
about two?
It's
Two.
socially responsible. Number 2 is socially responsible. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that's it. Now, let's
Hmm.
proceed to the listening activity. So let's try to listen to this one. Okay, for a while. Let me see if I can play that. Okay. Okay.
Unit 12, Audio 54. 1.
It's not how they described it to me. At the interview, they said that their target was to have 45% of management positions filled by women. But 5 years later, I'm still here in the same office, and 2 men who arrived at the same time as me have been promoted above me. It's very disappointing. I really thought I had a big future here.
2.
We've reduced the number of accidents in the plants by 20%. We haven't achieved our target of less than 100 accidents per year, but we are getting there. Last year was encouraging because the number of serious injuries went down dramatically.
3.
We've had a really excellent year, much better than we expected. We're the darlings of the stock market at the moment. If you want to buy shares in the company, I think you should do it now, before the price goes up too high.
4.
The last 3 years haven't been very good. First, there was that pollution incident in our biggest factory. Then there was all that media criticism for not using electric vehicles. It's been a very poor performance. I don't like to tell people who I work for.
5.
Well, it hasn't been easy in the last 12 months. The new CEO told us to reduce our costs by 10%. In the end, we only managed to reduce them by 5. But then it was quite a good year for business. I suppose I could say we've had a satisfactory year.
Okay, so that's the end. Have you got something? So listen to 5 people talking about their employers. Which aspects of the company's performance is each person evaluating? So what do you think, Toy? Number 1. So the girl is keeps on complaining, right? Number 1, the girl is keeps on what is one? Complaining that there would be a criticism, right? So there would be not fair criticism. So that means that is what we call diversity.
Diversity.
Okay, so they keep on telling that the female and the male are
Mm.
not equal at all. So there would be the so-called diversity of its workforce. Number
Yes.
2, what about number 2? So
I
they're
cannot
talking
hear.
about, yeah, actually they're talking about safety record.
Uh,
Okay, safety precaution. And then what about number 3? They're
Number 3.
talking about the how the company shares or performing well. Okay?
Uh,
So shares performing well. And then number 4, they talk about um, how to protect the environment. So that is environmental
Performance.
performance. And lastly, they talk about how to manage the
The
costs.
cost.
So that is managing costs. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, so let's proceed in here. Now, for the expression to say that the company's performance was positive, so you are going to use this one, Toy. Let's say, for example, if someone would ask you, how is your company's performance? So if you are going to say positive feedback about the performance of the company, so you are going to use this. The company's performance was
What
excellent. If that
is
is excellent, meaning that's almost perfect.
mm,
If not so perfect, you have to say satisfactory. Okay. And if that company is doesn't have to be perfect at all, so you just have to say encouraging. Okay,
yeah.
let's say for example, if I'm going to ask you, oh Toy, in your own company or in your company today where you are working, how is the company's performance?
Yes.
So what are you going to say?
Uh, the company performance was excellent.
Okay, excellent. Okay, very good.
Excellent.
So when you say excellent, that is almost perfect. Okay?
Yes.
We can also say 99%, but maybe we cannot give 100% for that. Okay?
Yeah.
But if you're talking about something, the company that's performance was negative, so you are going to use this. So the company's performance was poor
Yes.
or the company's
The
performance was
disappointing.
disappointing. Okay, that means,
Disappointing.
yes, that means it's not a good performance.
Yeah.
Okay? But if you try to use the 3 words in here, like excellent, like satisfactory, like encouraging, you give a positive feedback when it comes to the company's performance.
Yeah.
And if you're giving a negative feedback, so you just have simply to say it's poor or
Yes.
disappointing.
Disappointing.
Okay, now
It's
If I am going to ask you, is your company's performance is yeah, you were able to answer me that. So it's not negative, it's positive. Okay?
yeah.
Okay. So let's move on. So let's try to have a role play. Your teacher are going to be Ha and you are going to be Han. Read the below conversation out loud. Okay, I'll be going to say Ha. Hello, how are you?
Task. My workplace is a mess.
Oh no, how come?
We just lost another customer, and our company's reputation is going to down because of the
Racism
racism
scandal.
scandal.
Oh,
Yeah.
how unfortunate. Do you have a lot to do?
Yes. Our workforce is mostly male.
Oh,
I belong to the
minorities
minority, so people tend
to
to
ignore.
ignore my opinions.
Mm, you are a tough girl. You can handle this.
Hence, I will do better.
Okay, actually, there would be problem in here, Toy. So what do you think would be the problem?
Uh,
What do you
they
think would be?
lost customer
Okay.
because
So,
they are their workforce mostly male.
okay. And there
Yeah,
is no diversity of the workforce.
yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Because according to the girl, according to Han, she's belong to a minority group. So, since she's belong to the minority group, the employees tend to ignore her opinions.
Mm,
Okay? Because most of the employees there is are males. Okay, so
yes,
therefore they're not asking chance, or they're not giving chance to a girl, especially if she came from the minorities, right? So
yes.
there would be the so-called racism. Okay, when you say
Decision.
racism,
Yeah,
that
yeah, I know.
means whether you are let's say for example, if you came from, if you're an Indian, right?
Mm,
So
yeah.
and then yeah, if you're an Indian, they keep on telling you, oh, you're so like that. Okay.
Mm,
You know what's Indian? Have you experienced an Indian?
yeah,
Yeah, actually, they have a lot of racism applied to that particular minority group of persons. Okay, and
yes,
yeah, so especially that one. Okay, so
yes,
there would be the problem in here would be diversity of its workforce, meaning they just only give male employees
yeah,
importance rather than the female employees, which also belongs to the minorities. So,
yes,
what do you think? Of course, the problem will going to what? They will going to lost customer.
yeah,
So, little by little, there would be no customer would like to buy their product if they will
yes,
not going to do something about in that, right?
yes,
Yes, okay. And there would be times that the company will going to close. Why? Because there would be no income at all, right?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we're just going to continue this one toy on the next meeting.
Yeah.
And I know you're busy, so thank you so much for your time. We'll see you again on the next meeting. Bye
Thank you,
bye.
teacher. How
Okay. Bye
about the new
bye.
system, teacher?
Yeah. New system. Let's try again. If you can join in the new system, and if not, so we just have to. You just have to wait for the reply of the hello English. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, you should have
I
to
will
wait for
call that.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye bye,
Okay,
teacher.
bye-bye.